Steven, I've been thunderstruck by the lack of analysis on what Iran will do, what Tehran will do. What will they do off of the events of Friday night?
Well, the Iranians have the capability to make problems for the United States in a number of places, including Afghanistan, Iraq, hurt our allies in the region, the Saudis in Yemen, go after the Israelis from Israel's northern border in Lebanon. They're building an infrastructure in Syria that is a major threat to countries in the region that are friendly to the United States. So there's opportunity and motive for the Iranians to do some damage around the region as a result of these strikes.
What did you see as a response from the Sunnis, and particularly from Saudi Arabia? I noticed the king making comments, but what did Steven Cook see from the dominant Sunni royalty?
Well, it's interesting because obviously the Saudis, the Emiratis, the Egyptians, others are quite concerned about what's been happening in Syria over a long period of time. But you also see creeping into the views of leaders, particularly in the Gulf, that this is a conflict that has destabilized the region for too long, and they'd like to bring it to an end as soon as possible. But they have no means to do that. So they've essentially washed their hands of it and are hoping that the great powers, the United States, Russia, and others who are involved in the conflict will somehow find a solution to it. But they're not in any position to do much about it.
Donald Trump, Steven Cook, tweeted mission accomplished. What exactly should the mission be for the U.S. in Syria?
Well, this has been a debate for the last 7 years. Should the United States be more directly involved in the conflict in Syria, try to bring this civil war to an end by introducing large numbers of American forces? Should it be doing what it's doing now, which is including about 2,000 forces in the northeastern part of the country to deter the Iranians and try to get some leverage over the Russians in an on and off again negotiations? Or should it be, as the president suggested, even as he was announcing these airstrikes, that the United States was going to get out of Syria relatively soon and leaving it to the region to sort out the problem that Syria represents?
Right. So what would you advise the Trump administration right now,
I think
Steven?
my own view is that there's no possibility that the United States is going to march an army into Damascus and bring about regime change and discipline the political arena there. So our best course of action is to do precisely what we've been doing, is working with the Kurds in northeastern Syria and preventing as best as we can the Iranians and the Russians from doing more damage to the region.